Welcome back to Mornings Don't Have to Suck, your go-to AM motivation and mindset podcast to start your day without the dread. In the short time we have together today, you might just learn something new about yourself and how you can approach your day from a new and clever perspective. I am your host, Kaylin, founder of Live Your Clever Life Coaching, and we are going to jump right into it as usual today. I have prepared a topic for us today, really focused in on trusting yourself to make the right choices as they come up. And I think this is something we don't often think about. And this was really sparked by a song by one of my favorite bands. And I will talk a little bit about that more. But the first time I heard this song and I heard this phrase, I went, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And I think I was maybe like, I'll have to look at the release date, but I was young, early 20s, could have been like 19. I hope that's not the case. It's been a while, but in a good way, it has been a while because I have steadily been trusting myself to make the right choices in the moments when they come up and in the moments when I'm met with the opportunity to make those choices. So we're going to talk through that today a little bit. And really, I encourage you to take the time to reflect on what this can mean for you, to reflect on maybe some past decisions that you maybe didn't make aligned with who you are, but you made them in line with someone else or something else or a job or whatever. And now you've been given the time to reflect and can kind of take things from it and then move forward and see what you can do with it next time. So first off, it's cold in my house, hence why I'm wearing my hat if you're on YouTube. So anywho, one thing about me is, if you don't already know, I do teach spin classes. The reason I ended up teaching spin classes is because music is a way that I process things. It is how I heal from a lot of things. And in cycling, we ride to the beat of the music, and then I also get to choose what music I play. So we're going to focus on that today because of what sparked this. Like I said, a certain lyric from a certain song. I'm going to share that with you. You can look up the song if you want, or you can just take the sentiment for what it is and see if it's worth applying in your life. So we'll probably talk about music and your relationship with it and the impact of it and the potential of it in a whole other episode because I could talk for hours about it. But in this one specifically, we're going to talk about one song, a couple of lyrics, and then kind of go from there and apply it to our lives or see how we can apply it or how we've already applied it. And maybe we haven't realized that we've applied it. So this song is by one of my favorite bands called the Maine. I've been in love with them since it was 2009. So for a while, and one of their songs off of one of their albums, it's called Unlost. And here are the lyrics I want you to hear. Okay. I'll build my road despite the cost. There's some other words in there. And then I don't know where I'm going or if I'm going anywhere at all, but I know I'll take the leap if it is worth the fall. And I don't know what it was, and maybe it's because of his voice or the musicality they put to it, but I heard those words at a very young age and went, yes, I will. I trust myself to do that. And in saying those words at such a young age, I still believe it and I still apply it. And when I am presented with opportunities, I know that I can trust myself to make the decision to go for it, or to wait, or to not go for it based on who I am and what I need as a human being. So think about that. Do you trust yourself to make decisions as they come up? Or do you panic when decisions come up? Do you make emotional-based decisions? These are all good thoughts to have because on any given day, you might receive the opportunity of a lifetime. And if you aren't open to it, and if you don't trust yourself to make the right decision for you, you could potentially miss out on something or an opportunity that could apply for you. So think about that. Another lyric that happens a little bit later that I just want to leave you with before we move on is always remember how lucky you are to have yourself. And it's probably just because it's a lovely song and it's always talking about how you should trust yourself and love yourself and be there for yourself. But it highlights the importance of taking advantage of the time that you do have while you have it. Oftentimes it is the people who have lost the most or the people who have lost people close to them that have such a good, solid appreciation of life. And I admire each and every one of them for that, but we should not have to wait until something is taken from us to appreciate the life and the earth and the world around us. This universe is a very powerful place if you let it be, or you can be distracted by the little crazy things. And we're going to try to not do the latter. We're going to focus on the time that we have while we have it and making sure that we take advantage of the opportunities and make the decisions based off of who we are, what we need, all that good stuff. So next, I wrote my notes on this and kind of made myself chuckle, but where do you get off not trusting yourself? And I mean that because in my notes I went, first of all, but really, like, we are each born into this world where we are forced to trust the people that take care of us, right? At some point, that responsibility all of a sudden shifts to us. We're not necessarily told when that happens, but all of a sudden we can kind of feel the shift when people stop helping us, when people stop volunteering their help, things like that. As you get older, right? Mostly in our family and in society and in school and stuff, they set you up to let go of those things. Mostly. They tell you, they don't necessarily set you up for it. But at the end of the day, you know yourself better than anyone else. You're the only person that has been in here 100% of the time since day one. So make sure you're listening to your instincts and the things that you want and the things that you need versus what's being imposed on you by your environment, by your job, by your friend group at the time, by whatever it may be, because that can be a huge roadblock in your end goal and in whatever you're looking for. And in honestly, your current life experience, like, don't you want to enjoy the things? You got to trust yourself a little bit more and not leave it up to anybody else. That being said, it's easier said than done, especially if you've never done it before. And especially if this is a new approach or a new perspective for you, it might be a little daunting. But once you become aware of it and once you kind of focus in and acknowledge those things, it becomes a lot more simple because that light bulb will go off where you go, oh, I actually do have a decision here. I actually do have a choice in my outcome. I do have a choice in what happens here. And it's not up to that one person who told me I would never achieve it, or that one person who decided to say XYZ behind my back, or that one opportunity that didn't pan out, right? It becomes more up to you and not more of what has happened to you. So last focus, I'm not going to say last thing because I'll probably ramble a little bit more, but last focus is something that we can do to actively move out of the space of not trusting yourself to make the right decisions, actively getting out of that space of relying on other people. And you know me, I like to give you a little bit of action that you can take with you, a strategy, something that you can leave here with and apply today. And even if, again, it's not for you, you can pass it to somebody else, share it with somebody who you know that needs it, share it on your social media, whatever it may be for you. So first, we'll talk about reflecting and looking at past successes from a different lens, especially if you don't see them as successes, because we're human and we like to critique ourselves. But take the moment right now, 5 minutes at the beginning of your workday, whatever it is, to list a time when you trusted yourself, or 1 to 5 times, let's say, that you trusted yourself and it paid off because you focused in, you did the work, you did the thing, and it went how you wanted it to. These things, these reinforcements, these reminders, they build that confidence again, and they build your trust in yourself and your belief in yourself to make the right decisions. And if when I said that you went, I've never done anything successfully, you need to review all of my other podcasts, because that is a mindset issue. That is not a you issue. And I want to make that clear. What I just said is you can have a mindset problem or a mindset issue and it not have anything to do with you, who you are as a person, because your mindset can change. So you can change it at any time. So think about that as we talk through this. And if you're immediately if you immediately feel, or you're immediately met with roadblocks or with, well, that's not me, or, well, she doesn't get me, here I am to challenge you to try and to think in a different way. So moving on, listening again to your instincts and to your intuition. Practice listening to your gut. Not your inner critic, but your gut. That first thing you feel, that first response that happens when you're met with something. Because when you pause after that that instinct, think about what it's delivering to you, what message, what words, what feelings. Then you can actually make an appropriate decision. Pay more attention to your instincts. Tune into them. What are they telling you? And ask yourself then, does this feel right? Is it true? Does this make sense for me? And then you can make small choices that align with what does make sense to you to get you more and more in tune with trusting your instincts. One thing I know a lot of us struggle with, especially if you're a millennial gal or a millennial woman, is really embracing and accepting imperfection. Reminding yourself that no choice, no decision, and also on top of that, no opportunity is perfect. Mistakes are going to happen, and they are all a part of your growth. Trusting yourself means believing that you can handle the outcome, regardless of what that is. And I will do a small caveat to this. For anyone who likes to find or point blame in situations or to instigate situations, I want you to hear this in the sense of, I'm not saying that those tactics are embracing imperfections. Nope, they're the exact opposite. You need to actively face what you are doing and look in the mirror and go, am I doing this on purpose to seek a response? Or am I doing this to love myself? You do what you will with the answer. Last couple here, setting boundaries. You know, I love talking about this because regardless of what area in life you are in, regardless of the goal or task at hand, setting boundaries will protect your energy. Saying no to things that don't align with what you want at the end of the day or with what you want for yourself 5, 10, 20 years from now, like I said yesterday. You setting those boundaries reinforces the trust within yourself that you're going to get there. And it also sets the stage for you to get there quicker, and with more intention than if you just bent and adjusted and were flexible to what everybody else wanted in their lives, and you just get to be along for the ride. So think about that. And then, as I always wrap up these episodes, celebrate your wins, celebrate your accomplishments, make sure you're acknowledging everything that you do, the time you're putting into things, when you make a choice that goes well, and that when you get the outcome that you were searching for, that feels authentic to you and feels aligned with what your life is looking for in your future or what it's looking like in your future, make sure you're celebrating that. On top of that, make sure you're celebrating healthily. So you are calling a friend and sharing it with them. You are walking outside in nature and appreciating how wonderful that is. Whatever it may be to you, make sure you're doing it with intention and not just another excuse to celebrate, because I know a lot of us do that too. Outside of that, really just making sure that you're not doubting yourself before trying. Another thing I say on here a lot, but it flows into a lot of different things. So as you head through your day to day, as you head about the rest of your week, think about these things. Think about how they've impacted your life so far and how your life could change if you shifted a little bit and maybe try a couple of these. As usual, have a wonderful rest of your day. Spread a little light, spread a little love, and I will see you back here soon.